however, how do we respond? What's the pickup? We need to see some more cores coming out, unless this is going to be a Mirana core. Which doesn't sound like a great idea, but you never know.
Nah. I mean, you have the flexibility to do it. I don't think you get a lot of value from that. I think you definitely get a lot more from that lane, steering your range creeps and soaking some of that jungle EXP just to grow faster. They would need something to still kind of play around terribly. They do go to Batrider. That's an interesting pick in response to something like Tusk. About that. It's a bit tricky. You have a good way of locking someone down once you have to blink and lasso up and running. So you blink in, you lasso, say, Puck or Terrorblade, just follow up with the arrow and the Mars Spear, or do Nyx Impale, and you're all set. The issue is, there's a Tusk to save.
Remaining.
This
VG turn to ban.
I'm telling you, this VG stuff does seem very strange. Like, it seems very... Say it looked very weak. It doesn't look very good.
I'd say it looks different.
Okay. Well, a difference a word. I would agree. It looks very different. I'm definitely not used to seeing this kind of draft.
10 seconds remaining.
I beg the question though: is it a support Batrider and a core Mirana now? Because I feel like Mirana and Nyx Assassin together are a very, very big support duo. Even if they work well up against a TB.
I mean, Batrider Nyx isn't any better. Well, I think the key thing is to look at what lane combinations you can expect. I think Mirana with Amaras is what we've seen before, so I think that can work, at very least in terms of securing farm and EXP. I think that's pretty decent to have. Yeah, you know, one of these is going to have to be a core, and Mirana core just does not strike me well. I don't see that being in the safe lane. I don't see it working out in the mid. Remaining. I'd say offlane Mars mid bat can be something that works, but no, if you're going to give someone farm, it's going to be Mirana. I think that's what it boils down to. Just from that, Batrider support has been something that teams dip into for flexibility, so that's a possibility. Still, like, the value of the bat is just diminished by the presence of the Tusk. I think, like, we've seen that time and time and again. As long as the Tusk is in the air and not the preliminary target, he's gonna get the save off.
You can make the argument for every single hero on VG Gaming, right? Like, they've got all these disabled, but the Tusk can just save them every time, assuming snowballs up. Like, it's... Well, this last pick from VG, it's gonna explain a lot more. That's what we need to see. What is this last pick? Okay, it doesn't explain anything.
No.
I'm gonna go out on a whim. VG Gaming, I would love to see this draft work. And I don't mean to be hesitant and all this, John. I don't like it. I do not like what I'm seeing from VG Gaming. I don't know how they're going to make this work.
You know, strangely enough, I'm not too upset by this draft. I think it's very strange. It does look like something that will want to run up at you, though. Like, you say, you hit level 3 on all these heroes. Even on your sports, you're going to be able to melt down any lane you're in. Like, you've got potent stuns on Mirana, Mars, and Nyx. You've got damage output from the bat. You've got damage output from the silencer that can scale if you get those early kills. And as long as they play their lane fine, I think you have potential to grow there. It's just gonna be weird in execution. EHome closes with a much more traditional offlaner, so you get the Beastmaster out. It is gonna be Fate Beyond in that hero, and we have seen him do a lot of work at that. It just gives you that solid control. The one thing that EHome's gonna have to watch out for is that silence from Ori. As long as he hits his 6, Beach is gonna have the tools to get off the sound. Paparazzi's on the Mars. So it's a +1 Mars coming out, and we have seen Eurus play on the offlane anyway, right? He gets his hero toss to the offlane a couple of times, but priority on Mars is
I mean, he does
different.
With the God's Rebuke, he does do a lot of damage.
5 seconds remaining.
Going for the it used to be a Deso into whatever the hell you wanted, just pure damage. And he does tend to hit very, very hard. The thing is, you are a bit reliant on the God's Rebuke. So every time it's off cooldown, you're still auto-attacking, but it's not as effective. A question I have for you though, like, you look at VG Gaming's draft, sure, the Mars made it hard, but who's sieging towers? Like,
no one. Mirana.
EHome has...
Yes.
EHome has Beastmaster Jakiro and TB, obviously. Terrorblade with hits like a truck. But Vici, you get an advantage, great. What do you get out of it?
You slowly whittle away on those objectives. I think they really just want to run people down. I think this kind of draft that allows you to have this massive spike at level 6, they're going to have to play around at early level 6 as well. The moment they hit 6 on all these heroes, it has to be non-stop. If they give any space to EHome, you know, at some point the Terrorblade will have a BKB, and he won't care for the silence. He won't care for a lot of things except for the lasso. That'd be a massive issue for VG if they give that space away. I think they have to watch. They have to play to the strengths of their draft. Just run at them like madmen. By the time you hit, I don't know, level 3 in the lane sounds pretty good for them. Level 6 on all of you sounds like play around global sounds. Make sure you maximize that cooldown. Always force something out when it's up.
Look, I'll give props to VG for going a very different draft. I always enjoy seeing these unique drafts that we don't get to see too often. It should be fun for us at least to break down what's going on once we get to see what's going on. It should be very, very interesting. Of course, John, I do have to bring us some leak out there that does. VG Gaming are the favorites going into this first game, and
this is gonna stay.
I don't know about that. I mean, even for those teams, if they're on either, you know what I mean? It's EHome can really cut you down quite hard.
What's Yang up to? What's up with the troll face, Yang? I think VG knows their draft is funny.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
It's funny. I find it funny. Just looking at all these heroes makes me think pub. And this is the kind of draft in a pub when you run up against, you're like, wow, this sounds really dumb, and then they win by 15. You know, it's just that kind of thing. Once it really starts to run at you, it will run at you. Like, it takes a while for Terrorblade to bulk up against this kind of damage.
Yeah. No, look, I'm not saying it's not gonna work. I'm saying I don't understand why you would go this kind of.
The battle begins.
I appreciate that we're gonna take some fun strategy.
PYW just took a tower hit and is copying some damage from Sin-Q. Half HP.
Oh, alright. Tag team was committed to that. PYW, yeah, he's. Sal will run back to Fountain. He will commit to Sal. Not the greatest from, not the biggest deal. Well, that is, that's 100 gold.
I don't think he expected perhaps that ward watching, although I think he just walked under the tower regardless, though. Just a bit of a wasted piece of regen there still. Not gonna hurt too much. That is just support, so, you know, they're used to copying it.
I think you're gonna chase D1 up at the top lane. Styler does actually TP up on TP. They're gonna send Faith Beyond down bot with Y on the hero. Eunice will actually extend the favor as well. He does come down bot on the Mars now. I think it is going to be fairly important to have the Mars up against the Beastmaster Jakiro, because, you know, with this lane, you give them a little bit of space and they're going to start pushing that T1 very, very quick. At least with that Clutch Rebuke and Spear, you can just force them back very easily, though. You look at this, why? Providing so much harassment onto Eurus, Faith on him with that ball can be very, very frustrating with the slow and the high damage it does do at those higher levels.
It's not a very tanky hero, that Mars at level 1. Don't really have anything to protect you from that damage. Only 2 base armor as well. It's really easy to zone out still. A lot of keys have been expended. We have watched our Batrider Yang walk all the way to top, because he TP'd earlier on as well. So a lot of EXP being lost out here by VG.
Certainly. Of course, mid lane, nothing to say. Falling very, very low on the puck. The puck not necessarily going to enjoy going up against Ori on that Silence, so it is a... Regardless of what lane you're in, Silence is just annoying though. Top lane, DY almost goes down. Sub up, survive for another day.
Silo.
Never mind that, because Sylar does end up dying on the Terrorblade. DY was there to pick up the kill on the Nyx Assassin. Now it turns out for a double impel, and Yang is getting a lot of sticky napalm charges off. Do they keep going? D1 he needs another 7 seconds for an impale. Y is very slow up with those napalms, and Yang, he's swinging for more Y. He's stuck around too long, but DY is out of mana. It doesn't seem to matter though. It's in Q now. Gonna turn around onto Yang with the snowball. They do pick up the kill, and DY gonna be forced back again. He does have some tangos anyway, so it looks like he is gonna remain in the lane.
Oh, this bloodier earlier games we've seen coming out of the region so far. 3 kills already, not even at the 3-minute mark just yet. VG having a better time with it at 2-1. And you can see the emphasis on that early aggression. I love seeing this from VG. They know how to run this draft, they know they have to run it really bloody. And they are trying to get that done.
We do love blood, though. Blood must be spilled. Entertainment of the viewers. Still doing very well in this mid lane, I've got to say. Like, he is behind in last hits in comparison, nothing to say. But just the pure harassment stance and continuously deal out, it's going to be very frustrating for nothing to say. Though he is really using his bait chip quite efficiently. He's kind of prioritizing going for that harass rather than going for those CS pure. Seems like he wants that puck to leave the lane.
Radiant's top tower is under
It's not
attack.
moving though.
Why? Up top?
Will die again, does get him with the Firefly.
Which one of you wants to take
Why?
me for a ride?
So much, and now the TV, gonna get jumped off DY with the impale, and now the potty box come out. Sylar, he's got 3 stacks of sticky net palm. He's got no way out of this, I don't think. 4 now, yeah.
Oh my God.
Keep stacking these up. There's nothing Sylar can do. DY with the perfect body blocks.
Oh man.
Q, he just left. He just said, "No, I'm not helping this. Get me out."
I
of
mean,
here."
we're talking about that laning combination as well, right? The Terrorblade and the Tusk is supposed to be a very strong laning duo when you have that metamorphosis up, but every single time, VG has been able to do a lot more.
You mentioned it in the draft. This kind of draft that VG has, they have to do this. They can't give them an inch of space. Speaking of, nothing to say, getting jumped on Sync 2, gonna rotate with the snowball, or he could be, but he keeps hitting the puck.
Oh my God.
Nothing to say, orb dodge, but phase shift as well, he survives, and Sync 2 will manage to bump the kill before nothing to say does go down to the Arcane Curse anyway.
A bit of a
Top
for
lane.
Ori.
Every single time Yang has Firefly, he jumps. Why? Trying to help. He hasn't learned his lesson. And well, it looks like he will survive this time around. But the more
Radiant's middle tower
important thing
is
for
under
Beach,
attack.
he found the Terrorblade.
And they're at 6-2 now. Every single lane really is kind of winning out. The only lane that has been a bit silent is that bot lane with Eurus. But, you know, it's Mars lane. He's still on top of, in terms of last hits right now as well. So he's in a pretty decent spot. That mid kill I'm talking about for a bit. Ori dying first is big for EHome. At the very least, you know, this silencer is not getting too much int from the permanent int steal. And that would be big against your little puck, you know. She needs all the mana she can get. So making sure Ori doesn't secure that is great, even though, you know, you still lose your puck in the end, which makes it kind of even. In fact, I'd say Ori's still pretty happy with all this. Still, you know, at the very least, you're mitigating the growth of the silencer.
Good, I love the fact that Ori also went for the, he's maxing Arcane Curse, and I love that, right? Because up against the Puck who loves to spam Ship, loves to spam Orb and the Waning Rift, it seems like you get so much value out of an Arcane Curse this game.
Definitely, it's just gonna do a lot for them. He does count the global silence at 6. That's fine. It's still really early on. You're not gonna be forking out any big team fights, big moves just yet. You're not gonna need that spell. Oh, Cynthia already caught a lot of damage just from the right clicks of Ori.
I mean, he just runs past. Ori says, "That's fine. I'll hit you on the way out." EY misses an impale there on nothing to say. Good try.
Not yours.
Is buying space for Ori, who is still behind in terms of CS, but again,
Dire's
for nothing
bottom
to say,
tower
he's
is
had to
under
burn through
attack.
so much regen. Luckily, he does have a bottle up now, but even
Radiant
then,
structures are
seems like
fortified.
if they don't really secure those power runes, for nothing to say, this lane is going to get even worse up against Silencer.
Around.
Yeah, it's a rough time overall for EHome, and they've kind of left their side lanes as well, though. They do find PYW.
Hey, just read.
Dyer's bottom
He just
tower
rotated
is under
over, but the
attack.
Dream Call is up for nothing to say. Just commit. Kill's a kill, right?
Definitely.
left lane. Yang once again with the fight. This time just gonna creep skip. And they've actually rotated Faith Beyond up now on the Beastmaster.
Dire's
They've
bottom tower is
wait,
under
this is
attack.
terribly. Oh, it's not a great Sylar. He's been forced to farm the jungle now. He does put the double raid fans up, which obviously makes it a little bit faster, but that's not the scenario you want to be in as a Terrorblade. And we have a global silence going on as Yang is going to chase, and the second opponent's bot lane does go down in Eurus. So the global silence just to make sure he couldn't get out, but top lane Y falling very low, and again VG Gaming just all over the map. It's going to be an 2K net worth in 8 minutes.
Yeah, this is exactly how VG's draft works, and they're actually pushing it as best as I could imagine. This is the aggression you want to be seeing from them. They've forced the Terrorblade into that jungle for the past 4 minutes now. Right, so Sylar's been stuck there. They have to rotate Fate Beyond up top, and he's just basically jungling every now and again as well. He cannot lane against the combination that VG has up there. And this is going to choke him out just a bit. They should really focus on keeping their Terrorblade safe. Sylar's key. If he can hold out until the 20-25 minute mark when he gets pretty big, or at least until he gets a BKB plus 1 item, that's going to be great.
Green Coral, PYW again going to the target, and nothing's
Dire's
still
middle
getting with the
tower is
orb.
under attack.
That is one way back into the game. They can just keep finding those easy support pick-off. It really does end up picking off again. In fact, never mind those supports. Eurus get jumped on. Nothing to say. Doesn't have Dream Call this time. But do they have the damage output? Eurus, nice spear dodge for Nothing to say with the phase shift. Eurus is still surviving. Now the rotation's over. He comes in onto Sylar. Sylar doesn't have Thunder at the moment. Looks like he will drop. He does get a 3 in the end, but now why? Loses his life. Still going after Eurus, and here comes the arena. Eurus, he'll survive another day. There's nothing to say. Another spear dodge. But you finished the job off that you tried to start. No, it's time to run. Maybe a 2-for-1 trade now in the favor of VG Gaming. The pup will walk away, but that is a disastrous team fight for EHome. Eurus, I mean, he's a tanky target, John. I think with Dream Call, you can't make that play.
No, definitely not. It was a big gamble. They were diving tier 1, they knew the TPs were up. They got punished for that move. They lose their biggest hero that they need to protect. And VG's gonna be very happy. They're happy to have EHome in this position where they're desperate enough to smoke with their Terrorblade to try to find that kill on a Mars. You know, that's really not what you want to be seeing.
Hey, Faith Beyond, the arrow set up with the lasso, and Faith, he commits raw for this. He could find a trade, it looks like he probably will and does. PYW actually almost going down, took down one of the Necro creeps, and now the task will come in, but Global Silence has been popped by Ori. He wants to protect PYW, those shards. Everything's sinking, but where do you go, sir? The other way around. He'll get the punch off, but it'll be at the cost of his own life. Now Nothing to say, comes in with the Dream Call onto Ori. It'll be a huge kill if they can get it, but now Eurus, he'll join in on the Mars. He'll get the hero Y again. Nothing to say. Can you get the dot done? He'll take down Ori. He has a haste rune, but it may not be enough. Power connects, or say still shooting up at the arcane curse. Probably gonna take him out here. It's got a fairly long duration left. A shift, not gonna help. As again, VG Gaming does find the positive trade.
Yeah, it's rough now for EHome. They're really trying to match that aggression, and it's certainly not paying off just yet. Although, to be fair to EHome, they're not too far behind. It's 14-8 at 11 minutes in, but VG only has a 1k net worth advantage. Not much by gold just yet. They're Terrorblade, despite that rough start, you know, Sylar is still at least in the top 4, and he's not too far behind. The disparity, again, is just not that big. Just about 1k, maybe 700 gold on average, and not too rough. They really need to buy space for this terrible gold. So they do smoke up. NQ and Sylar walking down bot.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Sylar again, I mean, have the meta up. Want to go for that boxing on Faith, trying to go in for a raw. He will go after the mix assassin of Sylar. Comes in with the meta. They should be able to get DY though, Vendetta. Don't tell me you don't have sentries. They do. He will spike Panthers and impel sentry range. Vendetta is over.
Radiant structures are
And with
fortified.
that, they will be able to secure their first T1 of game. Of course, VG Gaming have secured the top T1 themselves anyway, and they are going to start pressuring for a T2 now. Get one TP up as and others just commit with grip fire to to ensure that nothing else happens.
Regeneration.
Not the biggest win, but it is the win.
Definitely. Like, I think what EHome needs to do now is to try to find the objectives they can. At the very least, they can melt these towers really quick with the Metamorphosis and the Beastmaster. So you've got these tools to melt these early objectives.
The Shard, Ori is trapped up. Global Silence will come out. The rotation's not going to be fast enough. EY won't be able to find the Tusk in the end. But you lost your mid-silencer. And that's the kind of kills we want to see from EHome. If they can keep a couple more of those, John, I think they're the game.
Definitely. Again, the lead of VG's not that big in first place. If EHome can kind of match that pace and slowly melt these towers away every time the Metamorphosis is up, I think you're going to hit pretty good timing with EHome. VG, they've got to tie in this aggression or perhaps try to look at those objectives. They haven't taken much. They've only taken one tier 1 up top, and their lineup is not built to push. They need to try to clump up, kill as many heroes as possible, pressure out the lane to get more control on the map. Otherwise, EHome's going to be happy playing like this with Sylar. Every time his Metamorphosis is down, he's in the jungle. When it's up, they smoke up, and they're very confident with that spell up and around.
But it seems like they're just waiting on Eurus. He's very close to getting that Deso up. This huge power spike of Mars is available. Whether it's enough is a different question.
Oh.
I think EHome will mate. Arena being driven, they can't secure. Maybe the target, though. Faith is ready right outside. He has Raw, but he gets lassoed. He waited around too long, and now the rest of the cavalry come in. Beachy. And Faith Beyond, I've got to question what he was doing there. He was just running into the arena walls.
Yeah, I mean, he was outside. He was stuck outside walls, wasn't he? Like, he was caught outside,
He was
and
just
he
running
couldn't do anything.
through.
Yeah, I think he was stuck on a weird area in the ramp, so he couldn't really navigate himself, which was a bit unfortunate, but the VG's gonna be very happy about killing Eurus, of course. Getting that kill does secure his Desolator, so he's working towards his Aghanim's now, and that's gonna be an even bigger power spike once it's up. At the very least, his farm pace is going quite well as well. He is top of net worth right now, definitely above and beyond that Terrorblade, although by a margin that's not too worrying, although they do find why.
Be another easy kill on Jakiro. It's been a very rough game. Already 6 deaths just prior to the 15-minute mark, and now they look to set up in the lane. Had a few issues trying to find this puck. They won't find him this time, but they're going to slowly set up that mid tier 1. Do remind me, because I seem to have... What does the Mars actually get?
If I recall right, it's the cooldown on review, so you can basically spam it out like a madman. 3.5 seconds. It's a lot of DPS that can be coming out in something like an arena drop that's just going to allow our Mars to really melt through heroes like the Terrorblade.
Wait, beyond bot lane going to be Silent. That's arena fan. We'll take the death. Silent has to run. You saw how fast he went through the HP of that Beastmaster. They're not done yet. Raincourt beat him and going after the Batrider, but then Bosty one as well, Nick Assassin and EHome with the Beastmaster taking this fight, and so far it's pretty good though. Why? One hit and loses so much HP. Eurus trying to take away, and it looks like he should pick it out just barely, but now the shot secure. He finds a huge target in Ori, but he had 4-star up. He will survive. Meanwhile, poor one in the back, surrounded by his team, does die.
Yeah, overall, it's still a pretty okay trade for EHome. I don't think they're going to be too unhappy. VG didn't manage to get that lasso off. I think that's the thing that will allow them to fight again, and we can see VG still trying to go for more.
Well, the meta's about to end in the 12 Terran lane, so there's never a better time. Impale, huge, although Eurus doesn't connect, and now he had the lasso anyway, so it doesn't matter. Eurus does secure the kill, and EHome, it's rough because it seems like they want to try and maintain control over the right side jungle, which is fair enough. Beachy still are very powerful at this at this stage of the game, so I don't think you can really afford to do that.
Definitely not. Like, Sylar is building it quite well. Number 2 net worth now is still about 1.3, 1.4 behind Mars, but you have to remember Mars does have a timer of sorts to play around. So there's still opportunities for EHome here. It's not as bad as you'd expect. I'd say VG has a lot more pressure to try to close out this map. They're finding these kills. Take a look at that in the tier 1. It's still up and running for EHome.
So he is. They don't really seem too concerned about that. They just want more team fights. That's all they want. It's D1. Gonna move in with his team top lane. CQ can spot him out. They want Sala on that turret blade, and well, yeah, he TP's forward. Now the snowball is gonna be there. And a click on CQ, but they found Yang, and now the Roar comes out. They want that next assassin D1. Gonna be chased down. Spike Carapace with the shards is gonna block him in D1. You're gonna run the other way. Although no, he waited out with the Vendetta, but the Dust and Illusion just gonna chase him down to the Illusion. It's really gonna fight.
Oh, man.
Faith Beyond the one secure. Now the Snowball's CQ trapped up in the arena. But EHome, they're happy to move forward. He's out of mana.
Under attack.
He does have a Soul Ring. EHome does not have any more dust, but a nice shot catches out Ori. Now the front comes out from Faith Beyond. Macro has been dropped as well. Ori 4 stars. Snowball against the CQ. Secure that kill, and he's already looking for more, but he does not have shots. But EHome now look to take that top T1.
Yeah, EHome gets a lot of free kills from that when they don't even trade anyone in return for that, and that is going to drop VG's lead to less than 1k. In fact, it's going to wait EHome now with less than 1k, although.
Run, kill Yang, try to jump in for Maxo onto the puck. He will not be so lucky, it's nothing to say. Does now have a big gun, does get out. The T1 has been to a top. I would dare say EHome is now probably in the lead.
Definitely. They've ridden out most of the power spikes of VG. They're on their way to getting themselves the answers they need. Like, you have the Manta style up in Siler now, so he can basically purge off most of those silences, and that just means that Terribly is going to be able to run around sunbring people when he drops low, and that's exactly what you don't want when VG Gaming tries to go for that burst. He doesn't even have a BKB yet, Siler. He's just comfy enough with the Manta style. And again, they've been playing around this timing quite well, EHome. I think VG right now has to play together. I think the results of those last fights were because they were streaming in as three and then tossing the 2 heroes afterwards as well. Kind of one by one. They need to get these fights off on their terms. Find that big pick off first, and then they can clean up. Otherwise, EHome can just kind of fight back now. They've got the tools available.
Top lane, John Yang. Scooped up, chasing, has the lasso. Well, she get away. They take the outpost.
I think that outpost cost them. Well, that outpost pretty much cost them. The moment they were capturing it, he knew there would be backup chasing him. He knew that Eurus was very far forward and trying to toy around the illusion. So, pretty easy signal for Sauer to get out of there. And a bit of a wasted opportunity from VG.
They didn't even get the outpost in time. Was the one to both outposts, so they denied that appeal anyway. I believe they were second mate.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah,
is under
thought look
attack.
at that.
Dire's
man.
top tower is under
Oh,
attack.
Same. Bot lane jumps in with the lasso again. They want to take out that mix. Global sides to be there. D1 point low. He's too low. He does go down. They'll get secure the train. You keep fighting. EHome, they have better 5 seconds on Siler. VG though, Eurus has arena, lasso gonna be there on wide. But jump back. This is the time to fight. BKB probably Eurus, but commits the roar, running in single Siler. He will probably go into the meta, but I think VG don't want to fight this now. He loses his life from Siler. He's fighting alone. Could be dangerous. Well, not to say he does back, he becomes white, he fall back on Jakiro, who catch up from us the young spot, and they will get him out of the invis, so he just holds it up, and that does really take a lot of damage. That is one strong kill.
Radiant's bottom tower
And he
is
keeps it
under
up.
attack.
I don't blame him. Never when these kind of guys gonna come back in. Still, nice pass. Why? He catches two of them. Eurus again puts a shield up, but it does save Ori on the Sansa. You can still TP in, but it doesn't. So, still they do stop TP, but now Snowball sees you from the behind. How's your shield gonna protect you this time? Eurus, he comes out of this. Dreamcore gonna be there. A nice speed, but this is looking really, really bad for BG as D1 doesn't even connect Sync here.
Oh man, this is all going so good for EHome. Like, it looks rough for VG were finding those kills first, but Siler doesn't fall, and that's really the important bit. They don't manage to burst down that Terrorblade. He does manage to live on. They take that tier 2 as well. EHome are bouncing back in. Like, VG, they revealed a couple of big items. They got the BKB out on Eurus, so they had that tool up. It didn't feel like enough. Like, sure, the Mars wasn't dying. They could ignore the Mars, clean everyone else up, and there's little that the Mars could do to stop anything.
Roshan now going to get the. Looks like they got nothing to say. Last to be different yet. They fighting the time, nothing to say. Just an all the way. Roshan can't block from deep one. Ice Park to be thrown out. Roshan is very good. Phil has one Firefly, but not anymore. Snowball is getting in. Portala has the agents. Yeah. Tyler is pretty low in that do get the Aegis team. He puts the TV over there. To keep this team fight up, well, you certainly can. Already found 2 kills. Sylar run away. He doesn't have metamorphosis. Builds up. Snowball back in. Global Suns and a double impale. Just perfect from T1. And this is great for VG Gaming as they will find a 4-for-1 trade. And that is the Aegis going down.
I mean, it looked pretty bad there for VG this time around, but they managed to go in time. You know, they miss out on Aegis. Who cares? You find the Terrorblade in the end. You get a good push going on that tier 1, and you might be able to find a bit more, although that puck is pretty slippery. I think at this point, VG is showing that they can still take these fights if they get that initiation the way they want. It's very hard for EHome to fight into it, and it was surprising that EHome did man get caught out in that ramp. I think that was the killer. The fact that the arena did so much in that ramp, blocking off the Jakiro, blocking off the support from that Terrorblade, it was enough to really take the fight for VG's favor, and they do maintain themselves at a slight advantage, 28-22 now, less than 1k by the way of VG. It's looking like a very even game so far. Look, with the way both teams are going, they should be tapering off in a while. At the same time, EHome are still having a couple of issues with, especially with their itemization. Like, you don't have a BKB on Silas, so even if he had a way to purge silences off, well, he's going to be vulnerable to the rest of the stuns that VG does have, and they have been quite on point with landing those.
My point still stands though with VG Gaming. They took that team fight, they win a huge team fight, but they only got 1 T1 tower. So, I mean, you see EHome, every time they win a team fight, they're fighting a tier 2. They might even go higher if they win the next one.
Dire are scanning.
And it concerns me for VG, at what point do you actually find objectives? They might find out that some of these nice high characters impale or arrow follow up and the aim is actually gets out of the last yang.
Take us.
That was not timing.
No, that was unfortunate. I think he casted the lasso right as the disc prop, so it got purged right then, and that would have been a massive kill. Just kind of slips away there for VG. I'm going to be very happy with that. Like, already a lot of value from Aeon disc.
I mean, the puck was hard enough to kill as it is. With the Aeon disc, it's just going to be that much harder. And John, look at the Sylar. Actually goes through the Fusel Blade, and I love it. Against the Mars, who requires mana to spam Pulse Rebuke, it's going to be a little hard if you've got this Diffusal on Sylar with all those illusions just hitting away. Even the Silencer, he's not going to be able to use the Glacier of Wisdom once his mana's drained up. I think the Diffusal pickup is quite nice.
It is potent up against what VG does have to offer. I think my worry is, again, the moment he gets controlled, that's not going to be doing much. We'll see just how far he can push it. Of course, Sylar has been doing pretty okay without the BKB for the most part, until VG realized their focus should be on that Terrorblade, just getting the stuns off, not just the silence. So Sylar's going to have to be a bit more cautious with this kind of pickup, and VG should prioritize him even more. He can really break up these fights.
Getting called so now. Call going to be dropped from Eurus just to ensure where they secure that kill.
Structures are fortified.
Sylar farming across the river, it's still very, very dangerous. Like, you just talked about it. He doesn't BKB up. He's not very tanky. Hero there across that river may now customers VG. They're going in
Shall I deal?
that mid lane looking for more. They set up for the tier 2 because they don't have previous set. Jumps in with the Veil and Dream Coil. They won't have buyback on the TB, and Global Silent is going to be there though. DY already does go down. Now PYW going to be the target. He will Moonlight Shadow run away. He actually didn't take us. Actually finding
Radiant's courier has been slain.
Does go the wrong way.
Dire's bottom
Does get
tower
Ori's
is under
courier
attack.
at least.
Dire's structures are fortified.
So that mid attempt from VG Gaming doesn't really pan out the way. It does kind of set up Eurus for the bot tier 1, so you can find a tier 1 out of it, I guess.
Tower has fallen.
Yeah, it's not the fastest push in the world, but then that's something we talked about before. None of these heroes on PG's side can mount any towers. They really don't. They just kind of get slow. Although you have the Ags up now on your... There's that God's Rebuke cooldown. Well, if he has mana to maintain that refusal, if Metamorphosis is off and Sartre just stands his ground, you're not going to have the mana to cast that spell.
Definitely not. Then he has a soul. Gonna have to impact. Definitely gonna get hard for say. With the Elders can never rock coming out from, but it wasn't the right character solving the assassin.
Radiant's
So
top
none of
tower
that meant
has
anything but EHome securities in top tower with those TP illusions, and will happily retreat back in their jungle.
EHome understands, you know, you're not under any pressure to actually end this game. The pressure's on VG to make this draft work, and as time ticks on by, we're approaching the 3-minute mark. VG is just looking weaker and weaker, and they can't quite keep up with EHome. Although, to be fair, I think they're right quite well. You have KB and Ori, so he should be able to stand there. Even if he is not out, he's going to have a cast Global Sun's cast POG and ensure that control is up there. And Deuce trying to find nothing to say.
Doesn't have the Aeon Disc available right now. Very nice coming up that and they can move the lasso immediately. They knew the Aeon Disc wasn't available, it was on cooldown. Now, EHome. Alright. Does see they finally killed D1. I think the last pumped up. Eurus is already there. Still doesn't execute for why. We'll just drop the map line, but that's contribution. Outside of that far forward, so it's rolled out Sunday. Try and fight back, and Ori actually does end up dropping thanks to that Sunday. Silo though is still gonna fall here. Oh no. 6Q gonna go back in after PYW. He does have another Warriors pop. He needs not strong. He will not get it. And EHome, it found the silencer kill, but they lose so much more.
That's not well. I'm a bit surprised Siler actually didn't choose to stand his ground there. EHome very scattered in that fight. It didn't feel like they were set up to try to support that fight at all. Sure, the Metamorphosis was ended. I think you accept that loss and you back off your life. It's much more valuable. And that's going to delay Siler's time on that AKB, which he's finally building towards. So he's at 1.4k, so he's still about K away. And this is going to allow a bit more time for VG to try to get pushed there.
And then up the same with the Veil, it's a lot of damage. Now Dream Corp comes out. Eurus to get out the player. He drops the arena, but it looks like he is going to go down. Not even like now the rest of the team trying to join, but the part next on D1 is on the edge. D1 has one character trying to get away from this, but he is being chased down. Meanwhile, SingQ trying to find more. D1 actually getting out of here. Does manage to run again. 2-5 Eurus on Mars and EHome pretty satisfied with that.
It's a consolation losing 4 viewers earlier on. At the very least, you got Forest to balance that out, and it does kind of balance it out. Or again, seeing issues with VG and EHome. Like the moment the Nets runs away after the Spike is there, you know, you have a Prime 4 up, or you don't have the mana for it. You do have trouble catching people, and it's just kind of rough, especially when Bang is there with that force as well. So you've got these options for mobility from VG. EHome doesn't quite have that response. You don't have anything like a blink on your Beatmaster to keep that chase. You do have a blink on SingQ, but it just wasn't there in time. Being cancelled off by the saw characters usage coming out from Arcade. So, rather unfortunate, again, you're still happy overall because you found Eurus. And that is gonna give EHome a lot more to play with, as it's the 3k advantage now, despite being several kills behind. And it does feel like VG still is approaching the point where their impact is gonna be mitigated. And BKB's up on Siler, so he's gonna put standard. If you don't commit that lasso, it's gonna be very easy for him to have that controlled fight.
Up immediately. BKB, Ags on the puck. So many great items here for EHome. This should be a nice team fight. You have DY there Vendetta ready to get out, and he's actually running the exact way they are. Smoking takes my Carapace immediately, though they do dodge the impact on him now with the challenge one going. Get Dream Call right in the back. He caught 3 of them. He popped my Eurus. He's trying to run away. Do they realize that to the Dream Call? They do. But Zyla, he popped his own BKB. Moving forward. There's not much damage right now, but the Magnifier and the Ice Path from holding both of them in. Still Zyla, he's out of that BKB Sunder. Gonna be there in time. Eurus holds it short up against Marana. Jumps back and they do find the TB. But Eurus has lost his life. He'll buy back. He wants to get back in this team fight. Here he is again. Seeing Q. The poor man's gonna burn to death. It looks like there's nothing to say. Actually going down to PYW.
Don't look at me.
And it does cost them a buyback, but they are finding more. That's why TPing away to get the fear off. It was on cooldown. But ultimately, 2 for 3 trade, and Eurus does commit buyback. But I think EG Gaming probably satisfied. They weathered that storm.
Definitely, this is going to allow VG to go into the approach as well. They are spotted out by the boar. You can't really expect a Beastmaster and Cure to get anything done. It's going to be a while until the cores are back up, no buybacks into the 2 heroes. And even with that BKB, Styler is still taken out, so he still has to be careful with his positioning in that fight. You still have to remember the damage from VG is still there at this point in the game. It's going to be a while until it truly tapers off, until the TV is just in absolute minutes. But that's not the moment right now. And that does give VG, again, that Aegis is up and running on Eurus, so even if he expended that buyback, he still has some leeway to put himself front.
What don't I didn't really realize, but but Ori on that silencer, he actually has 54 stall in.
Oh yeah.
You look at
Middle tower is
Tusk and the
under attack.
Beastmaster, they're both sitting with about 600 mana pool, and it's kind of abysmal. They already have low mana pools as it is. It's just every single time that 4 is stolen, it just means so much is why. Gets caught in the CQ jumps in, it's not again. They should be able to find this Piranha, though. Beck does come out from PY. Now the Eagles is dragging out that timing off the Dream Call, and PYW doesn't get out with his life intact. They get the Moonlight Shadow now. Hoping to find another target. And Ori, he's found one. He's spotted outside on TB.
Oh boy.
And then Penny there as well. Okay, Thunder immediately, and then taking an Inceptor.
Oh man.
Did I say no? It wasn't. It just the illusion was apparently just following them. And all right,
VG just really
that's a
happy.
huge kill.
Definitely. 2k ahead now for VG, finally taking back the network lead. They take a tier 2 as well. They're going to be sieging that high ground. No buyback on our Terrorblade. Not too long cooldown, but that might be enough time. I mean, this is going to be a slow push, to be fair.
Structures are
Goes
fortified.
back up and not to the same.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's
Slow
top
push in there.
tower
Prepare kids in queue. He jumps in. Full Walrus Punch Arena. Does not land the way they want to do it now. The Ice Path into the shards. Dual breath, Eurus. Just gonna keep going. Gotta be careful though. That again, that call is ready to go. They do also have macro, and we saw before how much damage that did do to Eurus. And it looks like they should be able to even secure tier 3. Even the bot lane was being pushed in by Faith Beyond. Don't want to really risk losing a tier 3 yourself. Speaking of Faith Beyond, it's kind of waiting for the say he's also there. He tries to 4-star out, but the green coil was already out on top.
Your life cycle.
They will secure a nice little kill.
It's going to help the cause just a bit. You're not sacrificing too much, VG, although that was a good amount of gold going away of Fate Beyond. you do still have buyback on that bat, so not the biggest loss. Just a nice little pickup going away from home. And again, they have slowed down push, and VG is starting to face the issues here that they can't push. Even if they get a big kill like that, they just don't have it in their heroes to take objectives fast enough. I think that can be mitigated by maybe a meteor hammer on the Y. It should work out well for him, although again, he hasn't had too much space to farm up himself. And EHome smoke up now.
They see those up Eurus. Well, they run straight into a Moonlight Shadow and does pop Eurus to the arena. Early call the Musky was snowball, but nice arrow comes in down up to say would come straight on top of the Mars, but the BK save the day for Eurus. They get the task. They move forward. They'd love to find more. Arrow not going to connect in anyone in the back. Nothing to say. Still holding on to the Dream Coil. It's a perfect opportunity here. Massive impower comes out from EY, setting up no follow-up. In fact, Global Silence there, just trying to protect EY on the distance. Eurus, you're right as you going out with the arrow set up to Y. Raw will be there. 80 points zone. BKB, but you've already lost the Jakiro. Now Lasso can be there on TP. Oh, he popped the BKB, trying to TP away, but that's a lot of damage coming out. It's not going to be quite enough. And Sala, I've got to say, timed that very well. He only had about half a second left as he got back to the fountain.
Yeah, that was pretty close, but again, most damage for VG is tied to that rebuke, and it still has a bit of cooldown, so they're not managing to get it out fast enough. Does cost them there still. EHome gonna feel like they're on the back foot now. 7k behind at 39 minutes in. Not the worst thing in the world, but the issue is you still have 2 lives on this Mars, and Eurus is just gonna go for it.
Yeah, why not? Get him to come out. Just not really gonna do too much, but definitely does in terms of damage. They get the tears, that'd be it. Timing as well, the Aegis does expire. That god Nuke is doing a lot of work. I mean, on the creeps at least, it's doing 1.5k crit right. That's really the Deso. He hasn't really got another pure damage item on this Mars. Kind of wonder, at what point do you see something else pop up to really amplify the crit?
Yeah, it's he has a lot of room to grow still, although I think he's starting to run out of space. Like the Soul Ring is kind of necessary because he doesn't regen too much mana and he does have to spam out that rebuke, and he's playing into a diffusal, so he needs to wait to sustain. I'm not sure exactly what you'd go for unless we start thinking about tier 4 items coming out, which should be coming out in about 5 minutes or so. Coming out now. So you've got tier 4 items up and running. That could give them more options on Mars, but I think especially that leveler should allow VG to get some damage, or at least a little bit more damage onto those towers.
Should have a hammer being found as well by Eurus, but Paladin Sword is a bit...
Sylar again?
DY on the tail. Disconnect, TP's coming in and now slowly pincer and Sylar. He BKBs, TP's out, and Yang really would have loved that lasso, but doesn't get the opportunity. But they all go mid. He might not see does find Why TPing away. Dustin and Garrett, never mind, you was their fate. He was up, and now the call coming in up to say they all jump on Marana PYW. Does fall, but they should be able to find Faith beyond, or think you rather. No, they won't. She's supposed to feel confident, so Why will jump back in with the ice path. Doesn't connect with that. Nothing. Okay. There's a way to lock these guys down. Back off, but perhaps it's just that Marana kill. She doesn't have buyback available, so they may be able to force down a T2 tower mid and perhaps even a T3.
Radiant's middle
really want to try and risk that.
It's an opening for sure, EHome. They're not feeling too shabby. Without that Marana, means they don't have to worry about any flanking maneuvers coming out. That could allow EHome to just play a little aggressive, although it does look like they're just going to back off. I'm going to be happy with taking that last outer tower, as VG now is kind of forced to just wait for the Marana to be back up before they play forward again.
much time do you give VG with this draft? Like, they kind of have unlimited scaling with this answer if you think about it that way, but how much more time do you think this draft has before it really starts to pop? Because I've got to say, I thought it would be around this point that we would see this draft being, starting to drop off on the side of VG Gaming, but it seems as though it's still even.
I think the big issue for EHome is the fact that Siler is just not as big as you'd expect Terribly to be. He's behind Fate Beyond's farm, he's behind our Puck's farm. So he's not even the top net worth in his own team. And I think that's playing against him. He's not as tanky as you'd expect. His damage output is pretty good, but you know, the key thing with a Terrorblade is standing in the middle, spamming your Sunder out, you know, just being a massive nuisance, a massive tanky nuisance up against what he has. And although it does take a while for him to die, it's not like he's been staying alive any longer than you'd expect. Although he do smoke up.
They do. So do VG Gaming. Eurus on the front lines. Actually went for a basher. So haven't got that storing any longer on the Mars. Is moving into an abyssal blade, but hasn't quite got it yet. Doesn't want to really waste that gold. Wants to save it back. EHome do get the high ground. They are set up. It's going to be a matter of whether VP really go up and high ground. We'll scout them out. Take that walk out. Now they know exactly what they are. Well, they are going to make the run up that cliff. They will wait for an opportunity. They are going to have the option for
Radiant
in 15
are scanning.
seconds, so I'll set up for that. Highly doubtful that the game is going to allow it to go down for.
No, definitely not. It's going to be rough. I think this is the next objective both sides are looking at, and I think VP is going to enjoy it if they jump in, if they manage to land that big, even up against the Puck's Drain Coil. I don't think it's a massive issue at all. I think VG has the control. They can ride through those BKBs, or even catch them out before the BKBs are cast. The key thing is really keeping Siler in his face. If he gets caught out first, and then it kind of falls apart for EHome. They don't have their frontliner, they don't have their big damage.
Comes onto the next assassin. Global Silence immediately at the one will survive, but Arena catches nothing. That's some illusions. EHome, I mean, enough for them though. Lasso is there on Fate Beyond. They should find out that everything missing from Eurus doesn't seem to has already had the follow-off damage, and Kawhi came too deep. Despite Carapace will hold him down, the Impel follow-up is going to be there. Just not feeling confident. I mean, you think after the arena they might say let's go, but it's just not the case. They just don't feel confident enough to make the play happen.
I think that's fair. I think they are trying to play a bit more cautiously. They were not quite grouped up for that fight, even if it did and that arena didn't look from they were still this kind of split up a bit too bad to try to take that. And this will allow VG to once again take that throw shot. There is an Ag's blessing as well, so they can just easily pick it up.
Too late. Nothing to say. Shows himself for a second. He had to free it up a slot. He was thinking about making the jump. Was just a tad too late. Ori is really starting to hit like a truck. That's a lot of damage being dealt by those Glaives of Wisdom. Of course, it is also pure damage, which hurts it more.
He's got to 25 town, plus 20% damage onto those Glaives as well. So, really menacing on his Silencer, and you, with that Rich Kill, of course, you have the Ag Synthesis. You've got the Nyx for the Ags now. So you have a lot more utility with a Burrow.
They can just... With that burrow, it seems like you can just hold ground forever.
Oh, definitely.
It's very hard to try and go high ground up against that. I mean, we even got to that case yet. Anyway, we're not even close with EHome doing that. Beach is the only one that's actually gotten a tier 3, and we're 46 minutes in. This might be the first game of the China region ESL 1 LA. We can see some tier 5 items come out.
Possibly. With the back and forth that's happening here, I definitely see it happening. VG is 17k ahead, 16k ahead, but they can't pierce the high ground. They take 4 heroes out, and they can't melt the tower. They're not close to the towers. So we're just kind of stuck in this situation.
I get spotted. Iron Dance is there from White. Well, bot lane, will they found it? It's going to be Faith Beyond. Snowball going to spin out. Arena one drop that has them. So he does get Faith Beyond out with the Snowball, and now they're going to chase. Google starts to connect from PYW, and now the player Faith still trying to get himself out. He rules the TPs. Is it going to be enough? It is.
Oh man.
Meanwhile, apparently DY actually did end up losing his life. Y picks it up on the hero. So because of one trade on the pod's forwards, now they do back in. Yang. Doesn't that last so, but they've love to find this easy secure kill, evening sway. Now nothing to say, blinking back in on the pod. Still Ori hitting like an absolute truck on the silent side. They do get the buyback down. Now the honest path is going to be there as a dream call. Does connect on the 3. They're already in the back. But where's the damage? Everyone's focused on Eurus. But Eurus won't have damage with the shield. And now he pops his BKB as they go back onto the puck. Ori falling alone out to the Terror Blade. It is going to be enough to get the Aegis. That'll be it. Both teams again in a bit of a stalemate. We'll back out.
Oh man, that was a pretty big loss for VG though. Like losing that Ags is going to be big, so that is going to leave Ori a lot more vulnerable, and he's really not a tanky target. Even if he tried to itemize for it with that Chivas, with the Lincolns to give him some breathing room, he just can't cope with the damage coming out from Sylar. If Sylar can get the damage out, just stand there and fight. So you've got a bit of an opening here for EHome. Eurus had to expend the cheese as well. Oh no, he actually passed the cheese as well to Ori. So they had 2 copies, one eaten, one remaining onto Ori this time. And I guess that still gives them a way of playing around it, but you know, VG gonna be happy enough with just a tier 2. I don't think they're gonna be going for the high ground just yet, unless EHome decides to take a fight outside. But EHome's just happy staying in their base.
That they are. Sylar's actually holding 7k gold right now. You've got that magic wand you're gonna get rid of, obviously. It's kind of like, what are you replacing with Sylar? It's very evident he needs some form of damage, I would say. Right? He's not really hitting as hard as you would hope for a Terror Blade.
Yeah,
You think it's
maybe
like a divine here, like it's just a divine, but he already booked MKB, so you do lose the true prime value.
I think maybe this would be helpful, honestly. Overall, I think that's something you could look at, if not a Bloodthorn for additional control, although the value of that is in question, but somewhere along those lines. I wouldn't be too surprised if he just opted for a Butterfly, although I don't think that's going to improve its survivability too much. It will mitigate the damage coming out from Ori though, so that's something.
Oh, he's going for a Silver Edge.
I guess for the Bulwark is annoying, like that is what keeping Eurus alive.
Okay. And it's certainly so. It is a very, very interesting way to go about it. And of course, you can always switch out the Silver Edge anyway. It's not too big of a deal.
What a bounty!
See if it pays off. He's got better on. Going for a smoke here. Not quite yet. PYW is what we got to mention, does have the multi-shot arrows now. Those things can be very, very efficient during a team fight where everyone is just added or clustered. It's very devastating for the opposing team. It's going to be a smoke from EHome, but a Moonlight Shadow will come out from VG Gaming now. Both teams ready to go.
Radiant
Broken, VG, they jump in straight from so on Spain. They got infected Sync again the task. Sync does go down, and now they come in with the elusive Eurus, finds Y. So both supports are already dead. Now they just need to get out. Dream Call is going to be in the back from the park, just trying to hold them back. And it was just perfect timing on that Moonlight Shadow. It seems as VG kind of realized the smoke probably was happening. And Oh, now 2 supports down, 1 with no buyback. They're going for that high ground push again.
It is an opening for VG, and I think they should maximize this. Like, especially with no buyback in the toss, that means there's going to be one less saving grace here for EHome. That should allow them to get a lot more damage on his tier 3s. Of course, the Metamorphosis is still up in Skylar, so he could still dish out the damage, and you still have to respect that potential there. In fact, they're split pushing.
Saying, getting caught out with the potential. He can't afford to die like this, but Chris does have an Orchid up for the Park. It does get to kill him. Now the Park actually going into Dagon. With Dagon 2 up. They do buy back on him and Silent. Of course, there is the split pushing going on from Faith Beyond. He does found a tier 3. All he's found, he almost gets a Rax out of it, but the military barracks is going to be able to heal up.
Yeah, he had Siler around for that. That's how Siler died. He just died before he red clicks in. It is potent. That is something you have to watch out for. 86 int onto Ori now. And no buyback on Siler because he had to expend it there. So even if they manage to take that tier 3, I don't think VG's going to be bought by it. They will have to be much more cautious about leaving that lane exposed, as that is something Faith Beyond can handle quite fast. At the same time, EHome cannot afford to have Siler up in front. She is. As a Terrorblade, he needs to be standing up and just fighting as much as he wants. And even with a BKB, it doesn't feel like he can do that safely.
He made it like a satanic, it seemed like, right? Because it kind of solves the damage issue as well as it gives you a second life, basically. Especially for BKB, exactly.
Allies disappear.
Oh, Smoke, Moonlight, Echo, but they have been scanned out. VG shouldn't be able to find a target onto EHome, but Y is out of position, but now he's on the high ground, he'll be safe. Still 27k net worth lead for VG Gaming. Huge. Awesome. My carapace segment now a triple impel DY Arena. His assassin, but it's still going. They want to get this kill. It looks like they're making off. Park getting caught out. Not to say he gets DY, but needs to get out of there safely. He will make it out. EHome now going back in onto Ori. Did they just kick him away? All-star. Ori did all-star, but now Lesser. Let me then on to Beastmaster Faith. Will spot for now. They're going on to that bar. Still, he runs away Eurus. They get away, and the play does go down. And we go back onto CQ Task, who has some buyback. And it's back 2 heroes down with no buyback. Make it 3. Faith Beyond go down to Yang on the bat ride, and they call GG.
Oh man.
So the drop works out.
Dyer's middle
VG,
barracks.
they can't believe it.
Hey, if VG got that early game, right, they just run you over. It took a bit longer than I expected, to be fair. 55 minutes, you think you would have a little bit more to play with. But VG does pull it off in the end, and I love it. You know, it was completely different from the rest of the drafts